folks, this is future me from just recording the video to come on and tell you right now that other than like a tiny little bit at the start where I show you a plant, there is nothing to see in this video. So treat me as a podcast, put me on in the background while you're doing your washing up or your ironing, because you're just going to get to know me a bit better and listen to me droning on and answering some questions that I've had recently. So just wanted to like pre-warn you in case you've sat down or snuggled in front of the TV to watch something. No, it's just this. It's just my face. So, yeah, treat me as a podcast. Do your ironing. Guys, I'm trying to get comfortable. Let's move you around a bit. Because I feel like I'm like crushed up against my bureau, which could do a bit of a dust, to be honest. Do you like my little cloud? I'm going to show you my little cloud. Do you know what? I only dusted that last week. I sort of forget that you have to do dusting more often than you do. Look at this, like, because you guys will know that I love clouds, I'm sure. Over the years, if you've been around on my YouTube or wherever, you know, social media and all that for a while, you all know that I love clouds. Always have, always will. I got some birthday money. It was my birthday at the end of February. And my mum and dad gave me some money to spend, which was very nice. And I bought this. This was from Next, and it was in the sale. It was £2. It should have been £4.50, I think. Look how tiny it is. It's lovely. And it's an air plant. Now, it's touch and go. I'm very pleased. Can you see? I'm very pleased. Ooh. I'm very pleased with how it's doing because when I bought it, it was a sorry looking thing and it looked very dead. Very, very dead. I'm just going to do that bit because air plants, for those of you who don't know, air plants live on air, but they also like a little bit of moisture now and then. So a bit of breath on it gives it a little bit of moisture. So yeah. It's just sitting there on my side. And I just thought I'd show you that because I love it. Back in the day, was it the 90s? I used to have loads of air plants because, well, I say loads. I had this side, they were really fashionable and I'm still sinking. I'm still not, I can't get comfortable. I used to have loads of air plants. Well, not loads. There was like a wood thing and it had like a squirrel on it and some other like fake animals and then air plants attached to it. And for those of you who don't know, air plants, they basically just live on air. They don't need anything to survive. Now and then they need a bit of moisture, but actually, generally speaking, like the moisture in the air is enough for them. And like, as I said, I put it in front of me so that it had a bit of my breath. And that thing's perked up and I'm so pleased about it. But when I was younger in the 90s, I had air plants and I killed them. How do you manage to kill an air plant? I know, right? But apparently they are all the rage, air plants. They are coming back. So yeah. And I only found out the other week because I took my daughters to a Pets at Home workshop and they ended up doing something completely different to what we booked in for, which was good, it was better. But they ended up feeding the fish as part of this workshop. They ended up feeding the fish. And I was like, I got like moss balls. And I was like, oh, those moss balls are really cool. I really like them. I want one. And then the person who was doing it turned around and said to me, well, actually, did you know they're really popular? They are a thing. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, people have been buying them as pets. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, people have been buying them as pets. He was like, have you got TikTok? And I was like, yeah, I finally joined TikTok. And he was like, yeah, look for moss ball pets on TikTok. Well, that was an hour of my evening. Totally gone looking at moss ball pets. I'm still on the fence about whether or not to get one because I might kill it. I have a plant over there that my neighbour gave me and it's an aloe vera plant. I have moved it from the windowsill. So it was downstairs and it was looking very sorry for itself. And then I Googled about how to look after aloe vera plants and it's supposed to be like indirect sun in the warm. Well, it wasn't indirect sun and it was in the kitchen, which sometimes warm, sometimes not. So I brought it upstairs to my bedroom, and I did have it on the windowsill because we're south facing, and this bedroom gets very hot and sunny. But then just lately it's been cold and it's been snowy, so I moved, and it started to look worse again. So I've moved it, and I don't know. I mean, I never water this thing, and I watered it the other day, and now it looks worse. I'm like, oh, did I overwater it? But now the soil's dry again. I don't know. So any tips on aloe vera plants, please let me know, because I don't want it to die. I made a really nice pot for it, which I will talk about in when I do another sort of accountability word of the year catch up video. I will show you the pot that I made to go with it for it. But yeah, I've suddenly, I don't know if it's because I'm exploring pottery again at the moment or what, but I've suddenly got really into pots and plants. And I feel like I love succulents. I love how succulents look. I like what they call them. Are they my nan always used to have them. Are they spider plants or money plants? I can't remember what they're called. I like the look of them. I'm very tempted to have get some house plants and things, particularly if that's an excuse for me to make some more pots. To make some more pots. But I'm a little bit dubious because in the past I have killed every single house plant I have ever had, including air plants. So fingers crossed, touch wood for me, that this air plant lasts. And yeah, I need to try and save my aloe vera. But yeah, I am tempted to have some houseplants because I like the way they look. But I don't seem to be very good at looking after them. I don't know. Anyway, this is a chatty video, so hello, welcome to the chitty chat. I've had a few questions. This isn't like an official Q&A video or anything, but a few questions. I think they were from the same person. And so I thought I'd answer them in a video as opposed to replying to comments, because why not? So yeah, it's going to be nothing to see, so treat this as a podcast. Should have perhaps said that at the beginning. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go back and do a little intro. I always like to tell people that because I don't want people to like sit down in front of the telly or anything and be like hoping to see stuff, and then it's just me talking when they could have just put me on in the background while they did their washing up or their ironing or something. So, you know, so I do try and usually preface my videos with something like that. So there we go. I will answer as much as I can, but I will see if John is willing or interested to do a video, because a lot of the questions involve him and he's interested. A lot of the questions involve him, or he would be the better person to answer these. But yeah, I thought it would be fun for you guys to kind of like, if you're new around here, which I don't. So the questions I got were around about like our life and stuff, and so what our story is on how we met. So yeah, I thought this would be a good opportunity for you to kind of get to know us a bit more, like the people behind the business of Mrs. Brimbles. So for those of you who do not know, Mrs. Brimbles, the business, Mrs. Brimbles is a nickname. It is not my name. My surname is Brim. Stop. And I took John's surname when I married him. Brimbles was a bit of a nickname because at the time, I was doing a side hustle because I didn't like the job I was in, and I did a side hustle of I made soaps and bath bombs and things, and I sold them at craft fairs. And I wanted a name that was kind of like cute and chintzy because I had a lot of like vintage linens and things on my tables and stuff, and so I came up with the name Mrs. Brimbles. And when I stopped doing the soaps and the bath bombs and things, I still owned the domain name, and I was like, well, so I still had the domain name, and I was like, well, I might as well just use that because I've got the domain name saved. So yeah, I used the same domain name. I've already got it. I was like, saves buying money, but I never thought that Mrs. Brimbles would grow into stuff, and now I don't actually like the name, and half of the people have told me to keep it because everyone knows the name, and the other half of people will say just change it and people will get used to it. And so again, like with the whole social media and YouTube and all that sort of stuff, I don't know what is for the best, do you know what I mean? So for now, we're just keeping it because it's just a whole lot less effort to keep it. And so I first started doing like the planner stuff and the sticker stuff and things. So I was working in a job which I didn't actually like. I was in a job I didn't like for very many years, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. We were starting out our life, you know. We hadn't long bought a home, and, you know, we were just starting out on life. And to quit everything and start up a business or do something else is quite, quite daunting when you're starting your life journey and things. And so for many years I worked in HR for various different companies in and around Cambridge. I worked for a racing car development company. I worked for a computer games development company. I worked for electronics company. I worked for a charity, and it was just that it wasn't necessarily, you know, it was like HR. I just didn't really like doing HR. It just wasn't me. It just was not me. I used to take problems and issues too much to heart. I wasn't hard enough to be like, not that I'm Alan Sugar, you're fired, but you know what I mean? It was just, I found it really tough. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. Anywho. And then I took the opportunity to take voluntary redundancy, because by the time that came around, we were, John had a pay rise and we were a lot more secure in our home. We'd got everything we needed. It was, it was the right time to take voluntary redundancy and to use that money to kind of think about what I was going to do or invest in a business or what have you. So it was the right time. It was the right time. But then shortly after that, I got pneumonia. Literally a couple of months after that, I got pneumonia. And the job that I was trying to do, because I did go back to college, and I did a diploma. I never completed the entire course to do the degree, because ironically, I did a course in photography. Okay. And the final year was all about, I wanted to go, the whole primary objective of me going back to college was not to get the certificate, the qualification, it was to learn, okay? So the final year was a mix of a self-study to do an exhibition at the end, and videography. And at the time, I was like, well, I'm paying for this, I was paying for that. And at the time I was like, well, I have no interest in videography. I mean, now, how handy would that have been, because I make videos. So yeah, I didn't do that, because I was like, well, I'm paying for this course. I have no interest in doing the videography, so I don't want to do that. And why am I paying for self-study and then to put on an exhibition? No thanks. So I only did 2 of the 3 years, but I did get a diploma qualification as a result rather than the degree, which is fine. I went to learn. I wanted to learn about photography and Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. I didn't necessarily want the qualification at the end. But anyway, so I was trying to make it and set up a photography business, right? Doing either product stuff for business or headshots for business. I was quite passionate, because at the time I was sort of involved in a networking group for women. I was on the committee for that, so I was quite passionate about female entrepreneurs, small businesses, that kind of stuff. So doing headshots and product photography, that kind of stuff. But I also wanted to do I don't know if you can hear that. My daughter is learning keyboard, and it's in the front room down below, and she's just started tinkling on the thing. We got her a keyboard for Christmas. Oh, well, I hope you can hear that. So I was trying to set that up, and then I got pneumonia, had a little stay in hospital, fun times. And it just didn't work out. It was it was a bit too manual for me at the time. I was in a lot of pain and stuff. So that's when I went back to my art. I used to do a lot of art, and I guess life and work had kind of beaten that out of me. So I ended up going back into doing more art, and I watched a heck of a lot of YouTube videos, because I was off either in hospital or lying in a bed for a long time recovering. It took me months to recover. I had a collapsed lung, and part of it died, and anyway, yeah, it wasn't fun. And so I watched a lot of YouTube, and I was like, oh, I could do this. So I started making YouTube videos on art and stuff, and then I started watching stuff on planners, and then I started like illustrating, because back then you couldn't buy all the stuff for planners like you can now. And I started off life by drawing on my planner inserts rather than using stickers, because, as I say, like, wasn't really a thing. And I'm trying to think how long I've been doing this now. Is it like nearly 10 years? I don't know. I'm videoing on my phone, so I can't look it up. I want to say 10 years this year, which is a bit crazy. I think it was 2013. I started in April. I need to look, because if that's a 10-year anniversary, that's pretty epic, isn't it? And then someone said to me, and then I posted like a picture of a dashboard that I made. And then someone said to me, do you sell those? This is on Instagram. And I was like, no. And they were like, well, if you opened up an Etsy shop, I would so buy that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did. I opened up an Etsy shop and I put them up. People bought them. And then it sort of grew and grew and grew from over time. And yeah, and then I started to like get other products in, and like planners and scrapbook products and stuff like that. But then I stopped doing all of that. There was, around that sort of time as well, another company started doing like a planner specific subscription box, which I used to get given, like PR, and I used to do unboxings on my channel of them. And then they stopped. They decided not to do it anymore. So there was sort of a gap in the market. So I started doing that, a subscription, and that is still going, which some people don't realise that it is still going. So I do the sticker subscription monthly and the box subscription, when the stickers are more aimed at planners and the boxes are aimed at paper everybody's, like a mix of planners and journal people, scrapbook people, memory keeping people, that kind of thing. And that is still going. And it's been, I would say, the last 7 years have been like a complete roller coaster for us and the business, because wow, as I said, we've had Brexit, and that has been a whole manner of things. Like, it's been hard to get hold of like materials. Sometimes it's been hard to get like the sticker paper or the card or whatever. That's been a bit of a nightmare. We have had the pandemic and lockdowns, and that was very difficult for many people, not just businesses, but people, everyone. Bad times. So we're not going to go into that. And then on top of that, we adopted one child, and then just as the pandemic hit, we adopted another child. So yeah, we started our family, and yeah, like having children is quite tricky in itself. So you throw that into the mix. Pandemics, Brexits, children, keeping up a house, running a business, it is all quite crazy. And as I say, it's gone like this. And somehow we've still come through it. And I think we have come through it because John and I, we have each other. We are really, really lucky. We have a really, really strong relationship. So one of the questions was, how did we meet? So people wanted to know about our story and our story, which I'm presuming was Brimble's, but I don't really know, and how we met. So John and I we met many, many, many moons ago when we were small. So when I was in infant school, John used to go to school at the same school that my neighbour went to, and was friends with him. And unbeknownst to us, I first met John at my neighbour's birthday party. I went in infant school. How crazy is that? So that was how we first met. Crazy, right? And then we moved. I went to a different school. And then John and I went to the same secondary school. So that's where we met again. And then we ended up taking some of the same classes together. And one day I ended up being sat next to him. And I think it was, he will know this because he's got a better memory than me. I think it was one day I didn't have a blue pencil. It was in geography, I think it was. And I needed a blue pencil to colour a river in or something. And he had a blue pencil. And yeah, we ended up sitting together. We had PE together, we had geography together and stuff, and we ended up sitting together. And then it wasn't until we left school, when we did our GCSEs, that we realised we missed each other. We didn't see each other every day, and we realised that we were really good friends, and then we met up. Dating or courting or being boyfriend or girlfriend or going steady or whatever it is you call it. So yeah, and that, I guess, officially started our relationship official in 1997. So yeah, 1997, we became a couple. My tummy's rumbling. So we became officially a couple in 1997. We went to uni, we went to the same university together, and then we went, I say we went travelling for a bit. We didn't really. The idea was we were going to travel around the whole perimeter of the United Kingdom. That was our plan. But in fact, our camper van broke down and we ended up spending 3 months in Cornwall, which was just as fun. We loved that. And then we got engaged after university. So after university, we did this stay in Cornwall. And then we got engaged there, and then we got married in... we got married in 2007. Yeah, we got married in 2007. Yeah, so we've been together a long time. So I've known him like pretty much all my life. So we got together as a couple when we were 16, and I'm now 42, so a long time. So yeah, very lucky to have him in my life. He's not just my lover, he's also my best friend, and we have a laugh together, and I couldn't imagine life without him. So I am very, very lucky. So I've just ripped a nail. So very, very lucky. Goals for our family. Oh, let me just check this. Favourite animal. I don't really have a favourite animal. I'm not so keen on cats as pets, if I'm honest. I would love to have a dog. I used to have a dog when I was younger. I grew up with a dog, beautiful, massive German Shepherd, who loved me. I loved him. He was my guard dog, but he was also completely crazy. He was scared of things like plastic bags. He was a big soppy git, but he was also massive and lovely and fluffy, and I miss him so much, even to this day. So I'd love to have another dog. John's also likes dogs. The kids like dogs. Trouble is, dogs are expensive and messy, and got to think about holidays and things. We currently only have Florence left of our animals, our pets. As you know, we've had guinea pigs and rabbits in the past, and I used to include them in my videos. Florence, bless her, is the only one left. What is she? She's 8 now? I think she's 8. And we are sort of... We made the decision that after Luna died, you know, she is a house rabbit. She is with us. Like, John works from home, you know, so one of us or all of us are around like so much of the time. So she's not lonely. You know, she comes and sits and watches this telly with us of an evening and stuff. She probably would benefit from another rabbit companion, but we just didn't want to be stuck in a cycle of getting another rabbit, and then Florence passed away and we still got that other rabbit, then we have to get another rabbit to keep that one company. We wanted to break that cycle because at some point, this leads us on to the next question, goals for our family. At some point, we would like to do more travelling. We have the freedom, so we home educate the children, and that's part of the reason we work from home and we home educate, is, as I probably sort of touched on a bit. Yeah, we do what we can to keep our lifestyle working for all of us. To spend time with the kids, to give them the lifestyle, to give them a nice life. But the goals, we would like to be able to travel more. We would like to get a bigger camper van, like a Sprinter, something of that sort of size. We have a camper van now, as you know. I occasionally do van life videos or camping videos on this channel. We would like to get a bigger van and do more big trips around Europe or more of Scotland and all that kind of stuff. So that would be the goal for our family, is to travel more. We don't have... John and I just want to make enough to have a fairly decent life. We want to be able to have clothes on our back, food on the table. We're in a nice house. We've got things we need. You know, if like things wear out, we'll replace them. So yeah, we live a fairly simple life. I enjoy homemaking and cooking meals and preserving food and growing food and make, do and mend. So yeah, we're not like, we don't want to earn mega money. We just want to earn enough to be able to like feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, and fuel to go to the beach. So yeah, our family goals is to kind of travel more in the camp and stuff. And the last question I'm going to answer in this video, I think. So there was a couple of questions about my art goals and things. I might do another video for that, but equally, I feel like that may have been covered recently in my Word of the Year video and then my accountability on my Word of the Year video. So maybe if you haven't seen those, watch those. And I'm going to do more about, so basically I'm doing more art and craft in my life this year. So that's probably going to be covered in those videos. If not, I will make sure that it is in the next one. I'm going to try, touch wood, try and make that like a monthly video showing the art and things I've been up to in a month. So we'll see. So I'll probably cover that. So the last thing I'm going to answer in this one is, where is it? What do I want to do once the kids are fully grown? Well, this. When the kids are fully grown and fled the nest, depends on where we are financially, really, because who knows these days, the kids may not fully fly the nest. They might not be able to afford to. We don't know what the world is going to look like at that point. I don't know what the future is going to be like for them or the world, you know. So John and I are fully okay with them living with us forever, if that's what they want to do, or if that's what they need to do. Who knows what life's going to throw at us. So it depends on like finances and what the kids are doing. But John and I would like to travel more, like throughout the world in a camper van. Travel more. That is like our aims, like when the kids are grown. I'm doing, as I mentioned in a couple of videos before, I'm doing like an OU course of an evening. I would really like to go back to college or university, not for getting a qualification, but for the learning aspect. Excuse me, I would like to go back and either do some history courses or art and craft type courses. But again, it depends on where we are financially, because obviously I've already got a degree, so you know the financing is sort of different when you've already got a degree. You know, you have to kind of finance it yourself and stuff. So yeah, it depends on like financially where we're at, but I'd like to go back and do that, or go on like more art retreats or courses and things like that. More art and craft, read more books, travel. That's it really. I'm happy. I'm happy with my life. So. That's got water down me. So yeah, this video is very long. I've talked so much. So yeah, thanks for asking me questions. I love talking about myself, as you guys know. So I hope you found that a bit interesting. I'm going to go before this gets way too long. And I'll see if John wants to do a video to answer other questions.